Yeah.
They're already talking.
Speaking of marriage, then.
But Saul, or Paul, he said it's better for a man not to marry and to be like I. So, or for a woman not to marry. So I think it's different perspectives because everybody is not, everyone is not going to get married, and everyone is not going to be, and I'm talking in the perspective of being a Christian, everyone is not going to get married and they're going to keep themselves holy and not get married. That's what I mean. I'm not talking about not getting married and doing all the other craziness. I'm saying like actually not being married is okay. For instance.
Okay, pause. Alright, thank you guys so much for coming to my channel again for the Womanhood Series. Today I have 3 men from my church. First of all, can y'all give y'all, all of these men are married. Let's start there. Okay, these men are married. Can you start with your age, or you can just say whether you're millennial or what generation you are. I mean, that didn't really matter, honestly. Y'all are married. They don't just know y'all leave. But, yeah, what generation you are and how long you've been married.
I am a millennial. I've been married now maybe 10 years, January 1st. I'm not sure.
And you're a father.
I'm a father. I have 3 boys.
Yes.
And, and a man of God.
Yeah.
I am married. Been married for 5 years. I am a millennial. I also have 1 daughter. And that's it. Just one daughter.
All right. Big baller here. So, I am not a millennial. I'm borderline that boomer. So, I am 60 years old. I've been married 30 years. I have 8 kids, 8 grandkids, 4 girls, 2 boys. So, I ain't always been saved. I came from the city of Chicago. So, most of my life, half of my portion of my life is in the hood, in the neighborhood. So, I didn't always have a slave life. So.
Did y'all grow up in church?
When I was younger, I was in church, and then when I got 12, my mother got out of the church, and then went through high school, college, till my adulthood, and I came back to church.
Okay. What about you?
Yes, I grew up in church since I was a peep on up to where I'm at. I never not been in church.
Okay. All right. So we have a few questions. So we're going to try and keep the answers a little short if that's possible, but I also want you guys to be real, okay? So this is the first question I like to start with. What would you say is the difference between a boy and a man, and where did that transition happen for you?
You ministered about this, and I think you gave some great examples.
So go first, got it. So the difference between a boy and a man. I think the difference is, one, the responsibility they hold. I think one is coming into the fullness of knowing their identity, who they are. I think it's really when they put childish things away, beyond the age. You step into a level of maturity where responsibility grows, where you know that your time, your efforts, and what you're putting towards something is valuable. So you just start to shift in terms of your what you're spending your time on, what your efforts on. For me, I say personally, when I became for like a man, is really when I had my first son. When I had my first son, something shifted, and responsibility went from me being worried about me and what I want to do to what my son needed, and that matured me very quickly. So the word says, you become a man, you put childish things away, and that's kind of what happened for me. I know it's a general answer, but in the short version, it's the responsibilities you bear, knowing your identity, and knowing your time and what your effort should be spent towards. That's going to be something fruitful and useful for what God has for your life.
I'm going to go a different route.
Okay.
But in the same field, but a different route. I think the difference between a man and a boy is, I believe, nurture, right? So boys need nurture. They need nurture from a father, and they need nurture from a mother. And a lot of times we grow up into society without fully getting the full nurture of a father or a mother. Now, our age is of age, but we're still missing that nurture. So inwardly, we're boys, and we have temper tantrums, and we want the woman to kind of fill in those type of voids. And sometimes We don't know how to process our emotions. We were just talking about playing video games, and so I think when the maturity of being nurtured comes about, that's when the shift happens. Now, for the ones who have their parents in the house and all of that stuff, what he was talking about is responsibility. Responsibility can really shift a man from a boy, right? Or a boy to a man. So when he had responsibility, something came on. He, even though he was mature and all of that stuff, he now had a responsibility. He now wanted to look after his son and look after his kid, and so it ignited something within him. And I think when it comes down to that separation of boy and man, is a lot of times it's being properly nurtured and not depending on going through the process, because we all don't get it. Going through the process, either that's being by a spiritual father or a spiritual mother, or any of that stuff. But I think once that happens, once that maturity happens, that it automatically make you start grabbing a hold to the things that you're supposed to do, your responsibilities and all that stuff.
I'll say something real quick. It's not necessarily just responsibility, because when I had my son, I was already a business owner. I already had 25 people on payroll. I still had, my own expenses and costs, living on my own, right? At the time, my now wife was living with me, right? Trying to figure out, where we were headed in our relationship. The Lord did it. He did it. He saved me and figured it out. Now I can testify about it. But it wasn't just responsibility. It was more purpose. That the responsibility. And it became protection. It became being a provider.
Identity.
It became, that's like back to the identity piece of like, now I know I have a purpose and I'm doing this for. Because you can have a job and have your own, but still living like a boy, acting like a boy, and not handling responsibility. And if you don't know what that responsibility is, probably because it's like the apostle just talked about, you're in a state of perversion and not focus on things that really aligns with your identity and what you should be focused on.
So I kind of want to touch on both. Like, you both kind of hit where I was at. So there's a maturity level. There's that point of where you get to the point where you say, okay, we leave childish things behind, right? We leave those things behind. It's kind of an acceptance of understanding and knowing who you're supposed to be. Like for me, to become a man, I had to learn how to become another man, because the man I was taught in the world, God bless my daddy, he did the best he could as a man with what he had, but he couldn't teach me how to be a man of God, because he wasn't on that level, right? But he was on a level to teach me how to be a man. So, and then what me and my brother learned how to be a man in the city of Chicago is what we saw on the streets also, how to survive. But now, things changed, and then I gave myself to Christ, and then I found that a woman who was 8 years younger than me helped me to become a man as well, because she imparted things to me to teach me not to be selfish, how to balance a balanced life between husband and wife, right? And then fatherhood. So then now I had to take both of those concepts, what you were saying, what you're saying, and become another type of man. So it had me to get rid of the selfishness, because as a man, as a single man, you're pretty selfish. I remember when I first got married, my wife, our first year we got married, we got our apartment, I had weights, because I used to lift weights. And she said, you're not going to have these weights in the middle of the living room. You're about to have a baby. I'm like, what? I'm like, girl, please. But you know what? She was right. So at the end of the day, I accepted that. I was like, okay, I got rid of the weights right away. See, that was me becoming another man, because my wife just taught me, you thinking selfish. You thinking it's all about you. You're not thinking about the child you're about to have that could drop those 200, 300 pound weights on his head. You just thinking about how good you're going to look with the weights. I got rid of them weights quick.
That's good.
I had a baby coming. So the shift was learning how to become a new man, not just, as a man of God, but just as a man. Because now you're taking on that responsibility as a man. And a lot of stuff that I learned from my dad, God bless him again, and some of the stuff me and my brother may have learned how to be a man in the streets, wasn't nothing compared to just being a husband. Because now you're learning how to what God showed me was you're learning how to nourish your wife as she nourishes you. Because one of the designs as a husband, you're designed to help her get through and nurture her through her past. The things that she was hurt, that's what God designed you for. Say, okay, I'm gonna put you in here, and you're gonna go, okay, I need you to, and you're not even knowing that God is doing it, I'm needing you to nourish her through this. Because you're now the head, you're the man. So now I'm gonna teach you, Daryl, how to nourish your wife through this, because this is what she needs. And God slowly just teaches you how to nourish your wife. And then it's reciprocated. And then now your wife is nurturing you. And it starts to grow. 30 years later, you either accept how to learn how to be a man of God or you don't. It's a decision at the end of the day. And if you want to, or if you don't want to. I mean, at the end of the day, you choose you for who you will serve, right? You choose day who you gonna serve. So at that time, I decided to serve God.
Okay, so this is the Womanhood series, right? So the purpose or main target audience for my videos are like girls and women, Gen Z. So based off of what y'all said, like how will she know, okay, he needs some more maturing versus, okay, it's safe enough. Like how will she know if he's a man or if he's still in the boyhood stage? I know you said nurture. I know you said identity. I know you said selflessness. So like, what's some?
Are we talking from a married woman's perspective?
So no, this
or
is single, and they're like women who want to be, because every woman wants to be married. Like, come on. So when it comes to, you know, a guy approaching her, even just, you know, them going on dates, what does she need to look for to know, like, no, you still need time to develop, you know what I'm saying? Versus, okay, you're solid enough for us to possibly build something together.
Can I say something on that? So because I have 4 daughters.
Yes, I love this. He got sons, he got daughters, he got a daughter. Yes.
So one thing I learned when I married my wife, so my wife realized as well, as a man, either you're going to or you're not going to. I proposed to my wife after 4 months of just meeting her. So either I was wanting to be with her, or I wasn't wanting to be with her at the end of the day. So when I look at my daughters, I try to tell my daughters anything, even I don't care if you just met him 10 minutes ago. Either he really decided he want to be with you or you're not. Simple as that. Man, if a man of the world or a man of God, he's even deciding whether he wants to be with you or not. Don't you go chasing him. You stand up as a woman and you know who you are as a woman, and you don't take nothing less than him. You know who you are, but that don't mean that it's always gonna be that easy when it comes to the man side. But you stand your ground. I tell my daughters this all the time: be who you gonna be, and be who you gonna be that God designed you to be, and don't take down anything less than that. Anything less than that, that mean that ain't God.
That's good. Okay. You got something?
Yeah, I think to know when a man is ready is, it can be a plethora of things to know when a man is ready. I want to start off by saying you have to be careful, because in this generation, possessions hide boyhood. So I want a man with this car, I want a man with this, and I want a man with that. He have to make this amount of money. He have to be able to do that. And the man can hit all of those dots and dot all of those, across all of those T's, yet and still, when you get into intimate engagement with the man, he have some
voids, yeah.
Right? He have some wounds that he have not dealt with, but what you felt for was the possessions, and because he was able to get riches or balance a checkbook,
look the part
and do all the outer things, but can't do the inner work. So when you're looking for a husband, or when you're looking for a guy, or a man is looking for you, that's the correct term.
Thank you.
You want to pay more attention to the inner man. How do he process things? How does he listen? How does he respect you? When you tell him, hey, listen, I don't want to listen to that kind of music, do he try to let you listen to it, or does he try to, hey, but what about this song, or what about this song? It's like, where is the line? Does he respect your boundaries?
My God.
And that's another big one. Does the man respect your boundaries? And a lot of times when women,
that's good.
A lot of times with women, y'all speak so much and say so much, and the man just take everything you say and repackage it and put it back to you, and you're like, oh my God, I got the perfect man. And he just regurgitated everything that you wanted. So I would say, listen. Listen out of the abundance of the heart, right? So men speak from the abundance of the heart. And they will talk and they will talk and they will talk. And you have to be very, in this stage, don't commit to anything. Okay? Don't commit to anything. Don't lunge out. Don't slip and fall so he can catch you. Do none of that. Listen to what he is saying out of his mouth. Listen to what he is doing. See if every time you call him, he pick up the phone. If he has enough time for you. If you can get a hold of him any time of the day, there's a problem. He should be busy. He should be working out things. He should be trying to put you into his schedule. He should be doing these things. And I think to identify that, you have to listen. You have to listen. You have to watch, right? And you have to ask questions. Ask questions. And a lot of questions that I think a woman should be asking a man is, one, who do you listen to? Who is your leader?
That's good.
Are you going to church? Can we meet him? Can we have meetings or?
So you saying basically what's their influence?
Oh yeah, of course. Because we all know as men, accountability is important. A man without accountability is a red flag.
That's good.
What's the best influence? Because you can't have a girl, an ungodly girl giving you ungodly wisdom, right? You have to really be around somebody that's in the same sphere as you. Meaning, they're a godly woman, you're seeking godly counsel. One thing about a man, what I was always taught my daughter, was a man gonna always say something in the beginning. He gonna put on that front. That front gonna be there. He gonna say so much to make it look good. Give it a little bit more time to see how the real character come out, right?
Yeah, you nailed it. A couple things. One, I was gonna say that men can be, and women, we can be.
We're talking about men.
I don't want to single this out because it's true.
It's true.
Sides,
Yeah, very true.
But oftentimes the women, when they like a man and they see boy tendencies, they're more emotionally attached, or hopefully they're physically attached. But they've got to the point where they want something, an idea of marriage so much that they start to lower their standards, or they'll try to create something out of this person who's not it. So men, if I know that I want to be with this woman and she wants me to grow up and be like a man, I can act a certain way for a season. So when you talk about seasons, you got to go through some seasons and be okay with just being right where you are with a guy for a while to see who he really is. Past that honeymoon phase, if you will. And then I also would say, for if you're single and you have a lot of people around you that are married or has had successful relationships, seek advice and guidance from them. If you haven't, it's worth pursuing and finding other females who's been in a marriage for 10, 15, 20 years, so that you can get the knowledge.
Preferably somebody whose experience is still doing
because
good,
because
not divorced or in a bad relationship.
Oftentimes what you want and what will work are not the same. You know, like when I got married to my wife, we were dating for 10 years. 10 years.
Oh, wow.
It was me and my unsafe from high school. We started dating in high school, and then we went to college about 45 minutes apart, stayed together. I moved out here, and I actually broke up with her when I moved out here because I knew in my heart I was about to do some stuff. I wouldn't say it yet, right? I knew, and I loved her, so I didn't want to hurt her. So it was the hardest thing for me to do, but I told her, let's take a break for right now, because I don't want to be down here acting crazy and seeing what's what and then doing you wrong. And then, so my point is, when I was down here for that season, after she graduated, she moved down to Florida. But she never put pressure on me to get married. If she would have put pressure on me to get married, or put pressure on me to make me something I wasn't ready for yet, I'm telling you, I would have been out. And then God ended up saving me, marrying me, and I wouldn't change anything about what has happened as far. But the point is, if you want to be married to a person, don't try to force it. Educate yourself. And one more thing, you've got to become the person who that person you want deserves.
True that.
That's good.
Like that season of singleness, you should be like, what? Your ideal spouse. Think about the person you really want to be with, that you believe God's going to give you. What type of woman do you need to be for that person to want to be with you?
Yeah.
And that's what you should be.
But actually be that. Don't pretend like you're that person. Actually become that person. Because the thing is, like, if you show up as a fake person, you can't be mad if you get married and you realize they were a fake person. Both of y'all were pretending, if you're being honest. So Yeah, okay. I got a couple questions from what y'all just said, okay? Because I know a couple things that my girls want to hear. Can a woman change a man, or does a man change when he finally is ready to change? This is a big one. Be honest. Can a woman change a man? Listen.
Let me tell you right now. So a woman should never be trying to change no man.
Okay.
Period. That is one. That's you as a woman. You should have more integrity than that. Let that man be that man. If he can't be that man, then he's not that man.
Period.
If you think you can change it, change it.
You're in for a lot of trouble.
What are the assets or the tools that you're using to change it? Right. I mean, so if you want to change a man, or if you think you can, what are the tools that you're using to change it?
But he also you shouldn't be trying to change nobody in the relationship.
Okay, so say what you're trying to say, though, because you're saying it, but you're not saying it.
Right. So when women think or believe they're trying to change a man, it's because when we change a tire, what we use? We got tools.
Right.
We use tools to change a tire.
Okay.
Right? We use tools to change the oil.
Okay.
So when a woman thinks she can change a man, which you cannot change a man.
Okay.
But when a woman believes that she can change a man, there has to be some type of tools that she using in order to change it.
What's the tools?
I want to know.
Right, like, what are you saying? Like, say what you saying, bro.
She's saying what you said.
We being real. Come on, say it. Like, what is it?
Say it, bro.
I'm saying it.
No, you're not. Say it.
Here's what I think you're saying.
What is he saying? Please.
You need the proper tools. Basically, you shouldn't be trying to change nobody. The only tool you should be using is God. And then at the end of the day, the tool that you use is what God teaches you how to be the person, who teaches him how to be the person. After that, that's it. In my relationship, if my wife tried to change me, it didn't work. I had to want to be changed. I had to want to be changed in a relationship, because the harder you try to make me change, especially as a black man, it ain't gonna happen. I have to want to be changed.
Okay. Listen, we needed to hear that. Okay. So, which way do I want to do this? Okay, I'm gonna do this just because you went ahead and brought it up. Okay, there's a lot of narratives on social media, so that's what I'm gonna be asking y'all. But a lot of women on social media are saying if he don't marry you within 1 to 2 years, leave him because he don't really want you. And if he does marry you after, let's just say 7 or 8 years, he's settled for you. Is that true?
No, it's not.
Okay,
It's not.
Get him.
Yeah, it's not. It's not true. Like I said, I was with my wife for 10 years before we got married, and I was learning how to be a man myself. I was learning what I liked, what I didn't like. I had to overcome the issues of me believing that marriage wouldn't even work. Growing up, I didn't have any examples of successful marriages other than TV, right? No one I knew. In fact, we joked about it, like, why you gonna get married? You gonna get divorced anyway. That don't work, right? I had to uproot words and things that I used to say before I got saved about marriage, just to make sure my marriage would be successful.
Yeah.
But again, if my wife would have pushed me on, man, it's 5 year, 6 years. We graduated college now, blah, blah, blah. Only reason I got married is because when I gave my life to Christ, I heard it so clear. It's time to marry this woman.
So you knew.
And it was for me, hearing from God, knowing that He was leading me to do this and me changing other areas of my life, that made me do it. I would not be able to be faithful to my wife without, I'm not talking about my boss, me personally, without being led by the Spirit. I would not be able to be okay. Like, women text me right now, and I'm like, babe, you see this? Like, I'm showing my wife, telling on.
Yeah.
So,
you knew, as a man, you knew it was time for you to get married.
Yeah, but it was led by the Holy Spirit.
How many years was it?
It was 10 years before I got on my knee and said,
Darryl, how long was yours?
Well, yours is a little different, right?
Yeah, mine's
Yeah,
So
not
that's different as well.
What's yours?
I met my wife 4 months later. I proposed to her.
Oh, okay.
Within a year we were married.
How old were y'all?
So I'm good.
Just answer. Just
No,
answer.
I'm good. Listen, I'm 30 years in.
Yeah.
So my wife was, she was 19. I was 27, maybe.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
The reason I asked is because like people see like people young getting married and they look at you like you're crazy. Like why would you do that? And I don't think it's an age thing. I think it's a maturity thing. So would you say that that's true? Like it doesn't matter. Like if you're 23 and you're like really ready, you're mature, you're faithful to God.
So my wife was the total opposite of what I even thought was gonna be married. I mean, I was out there in the street when I met my wife. So I was talking to my wife, I was talking to my baby mom, I was talking to a chick down the street, I was talking to a couple other women in the job too.
you talking to him?
Dang.
You know. So you know, on my plate, I had, including my wife, I had maybe 5 women I was talking to.
You had the whole buffet.
At that time, I was like, okay, I ain't even thinking about this. But when
Yeah.
when God changed a man's heart, dude, it was 4 months. I'm apologizing and wanting to be around her. She told her she 8 years younger than me. You see, and then it was 4 months, and then the following year we got married. We got married I would say within a year's time.
A woman should not define a man's time to be ready. You got a right man trying to force something that's right at the wrong time that can cause you to lose it all.
Wow.
You gotta trust God, and you gotta see God for that.
You should never be, as a woman, you should never be the pursuer. It's the man.
I kind of have a little different perspective.
Okay, but make it short though.
Okay, I'll make it very short. All right. So, and Apostle Mark says this all the time: is you should be able to disengage at any time without hurting or feeling anything. It's hard to be with a man for 5 years and disengage and not feel nothing.
Yeah.
It's hard to be with a man for 10 years and disengage and not feel nothing. So I just want to, you know, guide you ladies. Just be informed that being with a man for that long and trying to disengage is, if you're doing it right, then yes, but it's gonna, you just want to be careful when it comes down to being friends and getting to know the guy and all of that stuff and not crossing boundaries and that. You want to be careful. You can be his friends for 5 years and, you know, say strictly platonic and, you know, separate and you're okay, but just be careful, you know, staying with him for a period amount, an exorbitant amount of time and split.
I know we got to move on, but I want to just give context. I'm not saying stay with somebody for 10 years while they go through their process if that's not right for you. I met my wife in high school. We were kids, learning how to be kids. We went through college. It was like a process. So it wasn't like, I'm just...
No,
that is different,
I don't people think like, I'm going to stay with no matter what.
No, we talking to... Get me. We all got married at different times.
Yeah,
he got married...
Context matters.
That's right. A different way. I got married at a different time. He got married at a different time. So we're giving you all 3 perspectives.
Yeah.
You know where you are. Because some of y'all already in that relationship.
Yeah.
Right? Some of y'all haven't met that person yet.
Yeah.
And some of y'all dating the guy that's 10 years, 5 years, 3 years older than you.
Yeah.
So we're giving you all different perspectives. You know where you are. So take the different perspective and just go from there.
So you're saying part of them 10 years was high school, college. You know what I'm saying? It's not you were done. You was done with college, then 10 years. Like it wasn't like that.
6 years into it.
Yeah. Okay, that's important.
I think I just look at it as a father. You know, I teach my daughters, stand your ground, never lose your integrity.
That's right.
No matter, and you should never be the pursuer. He should be the pursuer.
Yeah.
You know, and then stand your godly ground. You should never lose who you are as a woman of God ever.
That's good.
And I'm just gonna say,
make it fast.
Okay, ladies, think about it. Stop holding hands. Stop kissing. Stop doing those things. How many women do you want your husband to kiss before he marry you?
Wow, that's deep.
How many women do you want your husband to get emotionally connected to before he actually marry you? Because those emotional connections, if he don't heal from those, he come into you, you're gonna feel that. So you, on the other hand, stop kissing, because it's a kiss. It's just a kiss. I don't want my future wife to be kissing 5, 6, 7, 20 men before she even marry me. It's like, well, I ain't have sex. Yeah, but this dude, well, she can kiss, but like
all right. Next, I hear you, but next, okay. Next thing, how does a girl know if a man like really loves her? Like, how does she know for sure? Like, cause I've heard if he like will fix you with things without you having to ask. That's what I've heard. Like, he wants to help you. What would you say?
That's movie.
So
fairy tale.
Again, a man gonna put on that facade in the beginning. But what comes from the heart, I'll give you a prime example with me and my wife. I cook, I clean, I do everything that I can for my wife. Why? Because that's from my heart. That's what I do as a man. That's what I did when I met her.
But then she taught me how to be a gentleman, like how to open the door for your wife,
Mm-hmm.
those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you know? It's just that when a man is ready, he's just ready. But again, never let that down your guard. Never let down who you are as a woman. He's going to give his all if he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to give it his all. If he really wants to be in that marriage, listen, when I dated my wife, I was old. To be with her, I was the oldest junker in the company. All the other people was her age. But I didn't care because I wanted to be with her. I did whatever I could to be with her. Whatever it was.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. So when dating, like, how can a girl know, like, okay, he really likes me for real?
Likes or love?
Well,
Okay.
let's do love.
As in dating, go ahead. I was saying dating, it's hard to be in love with somebody if you're not crossing boundaries. Yeah, I was just going to say, and it's difference between like and love. If you're dating the right way, as you should date, you shouldn't be falling in love with somebody at that deep level. Because when you fall in love at that deep level, what you're saying is I'm willing to literally change it all for that person. That's what love is. Love is being willing to change to make it work, make a daily decision to change to be better for you. It's also
That's good.
I can't say that. My like became love in 4 months. There was no time span because you know what? I let God have his way with my relationship.
But I don't think he's talking about time.
Yeah, no.
I don't think he.
That's right. It's change, being willing to make adjustments and change. Not because I'm forced to, but because I want to change. It's also about putting the other person first. Like putting your needs above my own. And we can't just, like, how a female may love is different from how a male may love.
It's absolutely different.
Real quick, I had a rep, it was a long time I was running a business, and this rep, we had this theme where it was like, we're to treat our customers like family, right? And this guy did something completely out of compliance to the client, talked to her crazy, right? I'm like, why would you do that? Like, that's not our standard. We talk about treating people like family. And he's like, that's how I talk to my mom.
We going there right now. We literally going there next.
That's his form of communication. Doesn't mean I don't love his mom, but everybody has different standards of how they was raised. So your love may not be how he loves. But you gotta learn each other and have those conversations and communicate. It's also important to see how that person treats people who they do love. How do you act with who you love?
That's my next question. Let's go there because I don't want to say the only, but the biggest red flag for me that I would tell my friends is how does he treat his mom? Like, is he angry at his mom? Does he have any unresolved tension towards his mom? Can you connect for them, like, the importance of, like, a man's love for his mom, for how he's going to treat you? Because a lot of times he can, like, take out on you how he feels towards his mom because he's still trying to earn her love. So just talk on that for a second, how important that is for a man.
The easy answer is no. No. And that's the easy answer. All right. So it has multi-dimensions when it comes down to a mother and a son's love. All right. It's multi-dimensional. Oftentimes, a man could respect his mom but don't respect no other woman. Okay. So you will see a man who respect his mom and you looking at him like, oh, he treat his mom this way, but he don't have the capacity to love any other woman because in his eyes his mom is everything. If his mom talk crazy to the dad, he see no wrong.
Oh wow.
With his mom. He will love, it's something, a part of his mom that he has inside of him. So you have to be careful. Then you have somebody who treat their mom like crap because of hurt, but they treat other women good.
I haven't seen that one. Does that happen? Happen?
They treat other women with respect. I should say that. Like, for instance, you'll have a man who will talk negative and talk bad about his mom, but then he will treat a woman well because he don't want that separation, or he don't want that to be his mom, or he don't want that to be what he wants or what he needs. But if he identify once, because it's going to happen, once he identify a trait in you that his mom had, you would then see what how he's treating his mom.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I have a friend, he was taught on another level. So he had a loving father and a loving mother, but his influence was his uncle. But his uncle was a very disrespectful guy to women. So through his relationship, he started to be disrespectful. So
Was
he
he
went through
disrespectful
4
to his mom?
marriages. He wasn't, but he was disrespectful to the women because his influence was his uncle. So his uncle influenced him how to be disrespectful to women. So he went through 4 marriages. Now I look at my marriage and my kids. They look at and they say, I want my marriage to be like I see how my dad treat my mom.
Yeah.
So my daughters, they're looking for me in their marriages.
That's
because I give my wife all the honor and respect. I go out of my way to give her what she needs, and now my kids expect that in their relationship.
So I was gonna say, what I was thinking in my head was, it's not even, in my opinion, not the relationship with mom. It's the relationship a lot of times with the father.
Yeah.
I didn't care about my mom like my mom did. My dad was not in my life, and for a long period until I got saved, I wanted to punch my dad in the face on the side. I had so much built up animosity towards him, but I love my mom because I seen what she went through alone. So I treated her well. You judge me by how I love my mom. You like, oh, he's the one. But I didn't learn how to be a man. I didn't learn how to be a man or a husband. I wouldn't know how to be a provider, how to be there. So,
but you still love your mom.
I still love my mom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's broader than that. Mom and the whole relationship and what example has been set. Now at the same time, it built up in me a desire that I wanted to do a relationship right. I didn't know how yet, but I didn't want to be like my dad.
Right.
But everybody's story is different. Some people say I'm like that because my dad's like that.
I think it's
someone else may say I don't want to be like that because my dad's like that. So you got to get real clear on the dynamics of the relationship and see what examples been set.
So the easy answer is no. It's so, and like I was telling you, it's multi-dimensional when it comes down to how a man treat his mother. You don't want to be caught up in that, right? You don't want that to be all inside. That I'm gonna go all in. You don't want that because, like, for instance, like we was telling you before, we all know how to pick a fruit off a tree. We all know how to go to the grocery store and what's right, what's not. We all see that, right? But when it comes down to men, you should know what's right and what's not.
I just feel like he's doing the Jesus thing. He's talking in parables.
Yeah, you're a parable talker.
I definitely am. So I just, anyway, what's the
Well, since we're talking about fruit and picking and stuff, okay, so, all right. I'm not coming for y'all. I really want to get understanding, right? Okay. So I just noticed, even back to the garden, one thing about men, like y'all are like, we're the leader, y'all should submit. But when it's time to take responsibility, y'all always point at us. From what I've seen. So hold on, let me finish, right? So like even just like, and we're not going to talk about nothing specific, but like, let's just use, for example, domestic violence. Like, it's always, well, why didn't you leave? It's never... Or I never have seen a man go to another man and be like, why would you do that? Like, what makes you think that's okay? Like, I've never seen a man confront another man about what he does. It's always about, why didn't you leave? You know what I'm saying? So, for me, help us understand why it feels like it always falls on the woman rather than, especially the men, confronting other men.
I can say from experience, that has not been the case. And what I've seen. Okay. In high school, I had a friend who was really close to me, and we're driving the car. I seen him get angry and start literally like slapping at his girlfriend in the face. I almost flipped the car over. Like I checked him, like on sight, like you don't hit no female. Yeah. I was just protected, but again, it came from me and my mom. I never seen my dad put his hands on my mom. He just wasn't there. But it was like I just had that love connection for her. So my experience, I would not sit there and let a man hit a woman on my side. Or if I know somebody who's coming to me about that, or I've seen them experience and did something like that, now it's a little bit different how I handle it, because I got scripture and the things that can back and teach and give advice and guidance on it, and would handle it a little bit different, but I don't think that's acceptable. So in my opinion, if I see Daryl do something where he hit his wife or something like that, and I don't say something, that's as equally on me. Right. In my opinion. So I don't know what examples you're giving or what people are dealing with in that regards, but that's not acceptable. It's not the woman's fault. The woman should leave, right? If she's getting abused, but it doesn't make her responsible that it happened. Okay. It doesn't make her now at fault because it keeps happening. That's the own issue, right? Yeah. No woman shouldn't be able to It's not all. Some women got hands, but most women can't defend themselves to a man.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's about their fault.
So men do confront other men and be like, you were dead wrong in that situation and you need to do things differently.
Absolutely.
Is what I want to put out. So there are men who are having these conversations.
Depends on their circle.
Okay, right. I was just going to say,
Okay.
again, this is really all about influence as a man. So whatever their circle is as a man. So prime example, back in the day, you know, you looked at how men grew up. If they didn't have a father's influence, they had the street. So they always saw the street. So I want to be just like that person when I grow up. So that was their influence. So that's what they strove to be. So they wanted to be a drug dealer. They saw drug dealers in their life. You look at the kids always wanted to be basketball players and football players because they didn't have that father influence in this. So the only thing they had was what they saw. So the same thing here now. What you're looking at is the influence. How is that person being influenced? What's their surroundings? Like, again, these men that are getting these counsels from their other brothers who are probably broken. They're doing the same thing. They even have a broken life, a broken style of life, everything around them. But are those other men being around godly men to guide them with godly perspective? Because if they're getting guided by worldly perspective, then they can't bring to the relationship or even help you out as a woman on a godly perspective, because all they know is what they see and what's influenced to them. So even stepping up as a man in a relationship and taking care of some of the things, one of the things me and my wife realized is she grew up in the neighborhood in the suburbs. I grew up in the south side of Chicago. So she was taught how to save and how to manage money. I was taught how to survive. So to manage and save money, I didn't know that. So to bring that to the table, I couldn't bring it to the table.
Yeah.
So guess who that responsibility fell on?
Her.
It fell on her. So, you know, I had to learn that. We had to learn that because of our sphere and what we've learned as men and women coming up, whoever's around us, that's what's influenced us. Whoever taught us how to be a better man, that's the person who influenced us. So if those men out there that are dating you are getting non-godly counsel, they're going to give them non-godly advice. And then they're going to tell you to do stupid stuff, and then you're going to mistreat the woman who don't deserve that.
So a green flag in a guy is seeing who he's around.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely. It's environment.
I'm here.
I'm going to go back to your initial question with Adam and Eve.
Yeah, why does it always feel like the guy blames the woman even though he's the leader?
So,
the man. Yeah.
Okay, so no, now, and we will all agree, the man is the accountability. He's the one who it all falls down. Now, I tell you this because we look at the man pointing at Eve, right? And rightfully so, he did point at Eve. Now, what is Eve? Eve is what? She was a helpmate.
I know where you go.
So sometimes when that fist come at the woman, she helped it out a little bit. I'm not saying this right.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm not saying this right. His action is his action. Now that is still his action. Point blank period, that's still his action. Point blank period, Adam did point at her, but she brought the fruit to Adam. Right? And Adam did point at her. But we do I don't want to throw the rock at the man and just say, and he hit me, right? We know, and women know, a woman, my wife, is probably the one who can hit me in places that no other person can hit me. She can say things that no other person can say, right? And pull me down, right? We all have it, right? So when the woman, that the Bible talks about that tongue, right? And it's better to dwell up in the rooftop in the corner than to be with, right? So I just don't want to. It is the husband's responsibility, and just don't be the helpmate to that.
Like, don't egg it on.
Yeah. If remove yourself from the situation, you know, like when he get drunk, like remove yourself from the situation, and I'm talking about if you see this type of behavior before marriage, that's a no-go. That's a no-go.
Right away.
Right. That's not even Right, so you should not even be hit before marriage.
But then they get caught in,
right?
he's so cute, he got a car, and then you get it.
The
Look at that
muscles.
wallet.
Yeah.
And this joker's a definitely no. He's not respecting you as a
Right.
woman. He not doing anything to
Yeah.
treat you right. That is a no right off. Now, it's you the fool if you decide you want to still be with this joker and he still, he got his cards on the table for real.
Will test to see what they can get away with, right?
Yes. Oh my God.
Man.
You take that little tap
Drop
on the
him
face,
like
you
it's
take a
hot.
punch.
Yeah, no,
That is important.
That right here
Yeah.
can lead to something big.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, for women, hit me then. Stop. Like some like hit me then. Like no, stop. Like don't be a helpmate towards
Or
them.
your son being physical with the man.
Be
See, the thing is, with your generation, you don't have the influences that I had, or even him. You know, him. Your generation is so instantaneous. It's like he said, they're gonna test the waters right away.
Yeah.
If you see the dude testing the waters, that ain't the brother.
Yeah.
Right, get out of here.
That's good.
He is not the brother, because he is trying to test you. Instead of respecting you as a woman right away, honoring you as a woman right away,
Yeah, so-
then you know that ain't the brother.
At no time should a man hit a woman.
Yeah.
At
No time should he disrespect. He's not just hitting a
At
woman.
no time.
It should be all of that in one. Not hitting them, not
If you-
disrespecting them, not talking to them in any kind of condescending way,
Right.
belittling them. You honor her as a woman, period.
I agree. And some guys don't know how to handle their emotions yet, so they
Right.
revert back to the disrespect is like how I can get back to you, get under your skin. Because they haven't learned how to address those emotions or know how to deal with. They haven't grown to the point where they've been able to resolve. Is your
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're in all this stage, in the dating phase,
Oh my God.
Maybe.
what's wrong?
Maybe.
We're talking about a lot of things that
Drop it.
Yeah.
we're talking about a lot of things that
You shouldn't see.
But you know what? Us women, like, we think to ourselves, oh, he's trying to see if I'll leave. Or some men nowadays, but listen, some men even nowadays, they're like, oh, well, if you leave, that shows me that you weren't really with me. So like, this is what's happening in my
That's
generation.
manipulation.
Yeah.
But that's manipulation on both of their parts, though.
It
Instead of you
is.
standing your ground as a woman and watching him be a man to you trying to wait to see what he's going to do. You had thought already.
Yeah.
Period. Why
That's
would you
true.
do that? You a grown woman. You have standards, especially a godly woman. You have those standards. Why are you doing anything less than that?
Yeah.
And I tell you, I never yelled at my wife until we got married, right? Until we got married. And I said this.
She's up with you now.
Right, it's done. It's solid. And I told Pastor Mark, I said, I don't yell at her. I never yell at her. And he said, stay married. I'm like, no, I don't. Right? But it's you have to, like, seriously, if you see any of these signs, like Melvin said, if you already at this level of, do he love me because he hit me, or do he love me because, and we're talking about physically, but even verbally, like verbal abuse is real, right? It's real. So women, you can fight verbally back to him, right? Which is a punch, verbally fighting, and he fight verbally back to you. And physically, nothing even happened. But the soul man is being damaged because it's connected as something that was connected to you as a child. So you have to, you can't just say, well, he never hit me. When he's slandering you, he's calling you all types of names, and he's saying your mama don't love you.
Worse than a punch.
The B words is like
Right.
crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
so with Melvin, what Melvin was saying before, if you guys are, I don't think we argue. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you guys are arguing, and I'm talking about Christians, right? If you're arguing about something already, right, and you can't communicate it out,
It's a preview, man.
Oh, yeah,
It's a
it is.
preview.
And you gotta be willing as a woman. You gotta be ready to drop that quick. 'Cause
Yeah.
you also as a woman, you looking at the physicalness of it all.
Yeah.
But you see the signs, but you still want to hang on.
right. He
Why would
swung,
you
but
wanna
he
do
missed. It's like, what? He swung, but he missed. Like, no, get away.
Yeah.
You started at the beginning where you said most women or all women want to be married. I don't know if all, but most women do. You have to get clear on why you want to be married.
That is so true.
Because at the core of it, if you don't know why you want to be married, you don't
Yeah.
have the clarity on that, you don't deal with anything.
That
You
is
also-
so true.
You also, as a woman,
anything.
you have to be willing to wait. There's going to be dry
Yeah.
spirits, dry times when you're going to be by yourself.
Mm.
Be happy with
that's
being
right.
by yourself.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen,
Them jokers out there, they ain't no
No,
joke.
for real. Nowadays, it's
Be
scary.
happy being by yourself.
and this is another analogy. We find gold by digging,
Mm.
right? You never catch a piece of gold on top of the surface.
Mm.
You don't catch just a slab
I'm
of
go earring one time.
like, it's gold mines, right? It's oil mines, right? You never find a piece of gold on top of the surface. So women, bury yourself.
Mm. That's good.
Make that man dig.
Mm.
Hey,
You worth it.
Mm.
You are worth that
how
and
many
more.
cars that you pay your money for, right? You pay your hard working money for that you just willing to run it off the road. Right?
If he willing to work for that goal, he's willing
Yes.
to whatever. And that's the man, right?
That's
there.
good.
If he willing to work for that goal, I mean, literally dig in.
Most women don't have standards.
Yeah,
Most-
especially nowadays.
I'm not
hard
saying
to
all.
say.
I'm not saying all.
You right though.
Yeah.
I'm not saying all.
Because they
But
get
most-
desperate.
but
Today,
that
yeah.
and the world we live in.
Yeah.
It's society.
It's
Literally.
instantaneous. They want it now.
Mm-hmm.
It's so, think about it. You can't look at your phone without seeing some form of sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can't turn on the TV without seeing some form of sexuality.
Mhm.
So when the standards get lower and lower by women, they start giving up everything. Especially talking about people in like little right, and it's like,
Good point.
and
Like in there at a young age.
So I found somebody who looks like it could be a partner. Like this could be my spouse. This could be my like I want to say this could be my husband, right? But then you lower your standards so quick that if you feel like there's a threat that they may leave, you willing to give them whatever they want.
Yeah.
And then
I had a
and
baby
so,
by him.
And so when
I
a
gotta
man,
do-
when a man doesn't see that you have standards yourself, it's hard for them to then treat you like they have, like you with the respect and the level that you deserve.
Last question.
And
Okay,
let me tell you
we
one
run out of time. I'm generally
Okay,
running out
go
of time. And just answer this yes or no. Answer this yes or no, because I want to finish this off with something very special. But would you guys say that treating a woman right can lead to you being successful? It can lead to God trusting you with anything. Yes or no?
Yes, it has for me.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. In the last little 10 minutes I have, I just want y'all to just honor y'all wives on the video. Just say something nice about your wives on the video, because I just want them to see what it looks like for a man to honor his wife in front of everybody. These are married men, okay? Go ahead.
Babe, I just want to tell you, I love you. You've been there for me since the beginning. Even though our story was very, very different from not even dating to getting married, right? We have a very, very different story. But I really do appreciate everything that you bring, everything that you carry, all the ins and outs, all my mood swings, because I'm not perfect. We're talking here as men, right, being in a controlled environment, but we're not perfect. I am not perfect, and I thank you for just hanging in there. I thank you for being strong in times where you shouldn't have been strong. I thank you for being a woman of God and praying and laboring for me when nobody else was. And I really appreciate those things. I thank you for cooking for me when I'm tired. And all of those things that you do, all of the little nuances that we usually don't say thank you for. I thank you for your high expensive taste. I thank you for
All right, we get it. He's thankful. He's very thankful. Go.
I'll be short. 2004 to 2025, we've been together. 10 years unsaved. 10 years trying to figure out life, trying to figure out how to be grown and how to identify who we are. And then the last 10 years of our life saved, God has truly blessed us and prospered us. So I thank you for being a great mother. I thank you for being a great wife. I thank you for changing and being willing to make a decision to remain faithful to me no matter what. So I love you, and not too many people can say they're with their high school sweetheart 20 years later, and I want to make sure that we end our lives that way. So thank God that He's leading us and standing between us.
Yes.
Well, to my queen, I would just like to say thank you. I asked you this a long time, not too long ago. We've been in this 30 years. I asked you, would you want to do another 30 years? You said yes. Let's do 65. Let's do about 80 years. I'm good with 80 years. Thank you for putting up with everything. Again, you're my queen. Use that definition as it is. Thank you.
And thank our wives for getting us here, because I know my wife got me here too. I know she was like, hey, don't forget to check your messages. I'm like, okay.
Yes, I was going to say thank you to y'all, all y'all wives, for letting them do this.
My wife got me here.
The men that y'all are, you know what I'm saying? Because I
she
feel
got me.
like, yeah. So thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for sharing. Thank you to y'all wives. Like this video, share, subscribe. See y'all next time. Bye.